Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik, and this is the game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and this is still the play by email against Jochen, and today we will check the 21st January 1942. Last turn I accept my defeat with my first carrier division operation near to New Caledonian and air battle of Nomaya, and I more or less give up any future operations. And the second, or maybe already the third battle of Clarkfield was a tactical victory for me, but I was still not able to overcome the defense position of the American forces, and Clarkfield is still under American and Jochen's command. So, naja. Here's still one small Dutch submarine somewhere, and it's hard to get rid of them. But at least I lost no other ship. This is now at the coast, Brisbane, Sydney area. Some destroyers escorting some cargo ships, and my submarine is not able to be in a good attack position. Again, I think Dutch submarines, and yeah, they're attacking my patrol boats near to the Palau Islands. And this patrol boat, they all have only one hit point more or less, so a torpedo hit is normally always the end. And in this case, yeah, one more patrol boat dive for the Emperor. Slowly invasion, picking up all this Dutch undefended, unimportant bases. But sooner or later I must do this, and I will have time. This was I don't know. There's normally a cargo ship. My rowboat can normally attack, but he don't want to attack with torpedoes. And it can be, I'm not more sure. I thought every rowboat have also a deck gun, but he don't want also not attack with the deck gun. So somehow we don't, or my subcam skipper let this cargo ship pass by. Maybe it's something with honor code. I think in real life also the Japanese submarine commanders, they always had the attack enemy warships, don't attack enemy cargo ships, or only I think troop transporter, but not cargo. And of course American submarines, they attack everything. They have no honor, but Japanese submarine skippers, they only want to have the real battle with someone can strike back. Again, Dutch submarines here, and nothing happened. So this is Jochen, his scout planes detect my carrier formation, retreating north. It looks like we killed one scout airplane just now. There's always this interception sound effect. Okay, bad weather. And after a long time I was testing to use my Oscars for a sweep. You can see that the hawks and the buffaloes, they are on high altitude, and I keep my Oscars on a low level. The Oscar normally performs best in 10,000, maximum 15,000 feet altitude. Never go higher. So these are really good airplanes for bomber escort and for low level sweeping, but not for bomb run or something like this, or strafing. They don't have any armor protection, so don't bring them in flak range. And this also only works normally if the fighter pilots have a good defense skill, so that they let the enemy dive on them, and then they always try to avoid the first attack, the dive attack, and then they are at the same altitude, and then there's no speed bonus more. And then if you are low altitude, the Oscar is have much higher or better maneuver values. But of course there are still the old problems. Oscar, no armor protection, low hit points. So a hit on an Oscar always often forces the pilot to return to base. And if they spin away and fire, if this ends well, hard to say. But it's not an overly aggressive move I do here now. It was more or less like a small test run. What airplanes is... I only had this recon pictures and information that there are, 30 or 40 enemy fighters in Palmbang. And I want to find out what kind of fighters are here. And now I know there are Dutch buffaloes and some hawks. Slowly my Oscars losing the battle, but not now I'm able to be behind the enemy, and in the moment normally Oscar is this is often, if you come behind your enemy, you have a very high chance to create a kill. the next, yeah. More and more of the Oscars are now out of this engagement, and I will not clean the skies of Palm Bank. That is also not possible with this small air wing. Now the enemy was just for a moment behind, and I get the damage. Okay, let's return to base. Second kill. Oh. I was hoping I can avoid this. Yeah, okay, now we have a kill, kill ratio 1-to-1, each have 2 kills. So there, I mean, all of this Dutch Air Force can normally die for my Oscars, but I think there was only one airplane was able to come behind my Oscars. So this is diving is not automatically always a victory, but of course diving will give you the once very good position to come behind the enemy, and if it's possible to come behind the enemy, then you can create often this fast, easy kill. But the Oscar still is so nimble that he can simply often avoid this. So the kill ratio was maybe 1-1, and if we now both lost 2 or both lost 1, we will see. The point is that Jochen fight here in 33,000 super high level, and I come here only in I think in 10,000. Okay, Changsha is still no enemy airfight. Xi'an is also empty. Long time I saw no enemy Chinese fighters more in the air. I'm not more sure where they are. Okay, now Jochen bring in his recon bombers, I think I can call them. I think they're similar to my Key 51 Sonia. I think it's a Sonia. Light bombers with camera equipment, so I call them scout bombers. I think the main purpose is only to bring a little disorder to the enemy force, morale attack, and give also at the same time better detection level. And for me they are easy kills. But looks like that this small light machine gun that they have is enough to force my Zero to return to base. So at least one can survive this day. And they're carrying this 100 kilogram bomb, so it's not that it's nothing, but roughly 2 bombs each 100 kilo. For a light bomber is not so bad. I think my Sonias only carry 50 kilogram bombs. So still nothing. This is now my airstrike on the airport of Changsha, mainly to burn supplies and to avoid any construction work here. You can also see here always a picture if this is a heavy airport or only a small field airport. I think the game separates this in 2 different levels. I think you must have at least an airport at level 5, that it's a big airport. Then I think the game switched it from airfield to airport or something like this. Then it's more complicated to create damage on the runway because it's a concrete building or something. But if you create a hit, it is more costly to repair it. So, damage. Any kind of damage is burning supplies. Here's Jochen now slowly dying. Okay. Not every attack can be attacked. Here, success. This is the other smaller airport, so I think there's only these 2 kind of different pictures. And so far I understand it. This is easy to more easy to damage, but also more easy to repair and more cheap to repair. Okay. So the air wars in China are very standard 0815. little air support for my fighting forces in south-west of Borneo. But not that I really can create here much help. These are my scout recon bombers. Yeah, they're carrying 4 50 kilogram bombs. So also 200 kilogram bomb load, but smaller bombs. Now is Jochen coming with his B-17s again. The problem is that I must have long range cap fighters here. This means I have normally triple the numbers of airplanes here in air cover mode. But because you only can have maximum a third of your long range cap always in engaging enemy fighter or bombers. So this keeps my interceptor numbers are always on low. And against 15 or 19 enemy B-17s, the numbers are simply too high. I can never stop this kind of stuff. I normally need a cap fighter locally. Then I can maybe create more damage. But here is the problem only that I have small numbers, and also if my airplanes are getting damaged, they must return to this base first. So I have also higher ops losses. Yeah. I can only hope that I create more and more damage, so that not all of this, but some of these B-17s have, in best case, their ops loss, crash landing, or maybe at least high enough damage that they must stay maybe for some days in the repair hangar. For much more I cannot hope. And Oscars, I think, are also not the best to intercept a B-17. Simply, the B-17, I think, is faster than an Oscar. This is then very hard to close the range. So a Zero is, in this case, much better. 20mm cannons and faster than the bomber. At least it is possible to intercept the B-17. Yeah, luckily the damage is not so great, but also my interceptor attempt was more or less meaningless, and the second wave completely bypassed my caps, long range cap. Yeah. Second attempt. Attack on Rabaul, and I have only cloud fighters, and cloud fighters of course cannot really do anything. Normally they can only damage, so I can normally forward here now. You can see that I cannot stop them. 2 light machine guns are nothing a B-17 will even care. But I have some flak. I can create some damage at least, and this is long range attack, so the bomb load is only half and no hit on the port. So Jochen's B-17 strikes are what he is using normally for offensive strikes against me, against Rabaul, and in China. I cannot remember the dojo really use them much. A little, but not so concentrated. And again, bad weather, no attack on Clark. More scout bombers. This is of course again easy kill. But it looks like they're coming in 24,000, so they're very high altitude. Okay, now I catch up. And I'm not sure what these British pilots are thinking or hoping for. 100% kill ratio. This is a good news for the home front. Means British terror bomber attempts are completely repelled, and now the Chinese Russian bombers are coming. Okay, more terror bombers, more forces of evil trying to darken the skies. But the Empire of the Rising Sun will not shy away, take every battle, and we send back these scums. Only the dead Russian Chinese bomber is a good Russian Chinese bomber. But I am lacking here simply the numbers. If I had here a little more in the zeros or Oscars, I could maybe completely get rid of this SP3s. But if not, I don't kill them today, then maybe I kill them another day. Sooner or later they will all die. Okay. One more. Okay. Heavy losses for the British, Chinese bomber force, the Americans, of course. They are hiding between protected, well-armed, four-engine air bombers. Who else will build this? But at least I get one more before I'm out of fuel and ammunition. So I think I get rid of... Normally 9 bombers attack me only, so 6 bombers are getting killed. But you can see here the report says 3 damage and 3 killed, but we will see. And there's a lucky Dutch submarine hitting my sub-hunter. This is, yeah, skillful, lucky attack. I cannot say much more. I sent these ships there to normally hunt a sub in the shallow water, but the submarine was in a better position. And this is a high risky operation. I talked already last time about this. I am normally have 10% less attack value than the Chinese. In hindsight, I would normally maybe not do this more, but at least I was hoping to create a battle report that maybe we have the kill ratio 1-to-1, or maybe I can maybe handle even double disabled units in the Chinese forces. I would still live with it because it gives pressure more on Jochen. I can reduce always a fort with every attack, simply because my pioneers will blow up one fort at the beginning. And the first battle of Changsha was okay for me. It was a loss of with kill ratio of 1-to-2, so I normally expected similar. I was thinking like, okay, maybe Jochen lose 500 attack value and I lose 500 attack, 1000 attack value, and at the same time I can blow up one fort. Then I need 3-4-5 days and get my attack value back, and then I attack again. And if I do this 3 or 4 times, then all the forts of Changsha are broken, and then I can maybe take the city. But unluckily, I have not the luck, or the standard outcome I expected from last time. But this needs a long time again. Let's wait. And the idea was, well, let's say, if I attack and my attack was more or less not a totally disaster, then I would give pressure on Jochen to give reinforcements. All what he have more or less go to Changsha to hold the city. This gives my paratroopers more time to dig in and also give me more time to bring reinforcements. Because the original idea was normally that I can take Changsha more or less quickly, but Jochen was able to bring reinforcements much faster than I expected. Yeah. So my Pioneers was able to blow up the next fort level, and the main issue is normally I think the first attack, I think it was 4,500 against 3,500. Now we have more or less my attack value is very similar to the first attack. Jochen have a more attack value, roughly 1,000 more maybe, but he is also 1 fort level less. And I don't expect it here normally a big victory. The problem was really only that Jochen can double his defense value nearly. This is maybe still okay, but that my attack value drops half is a big problem, I would say. If I have 4,200 and he have maybe, then it would be more or less an attack out of 1-1, or worst case 1-2. Then I would have not so many high losses now. But because of the game simply reduced my attack value by half, but nearly double Jochen his attack value, we have here this 1-3. And this simply is a bad dice roll. This is simply only unlucky, I would say. I would accept here 10,000 casualties, and for Jochen maybe 4,000 or 5,000, and I would say this is okay, 10-5 or 2-1 kill ratio. But this is now nearly 4-1 or something like this, and this is simply breaks nearly the game in my thinking, because make no sense. This makes no sense, this report, but I must accept it. But I would say this more or less means you can never attack. You must have always at least 2-1. I must have double attack value before I can attack. But this is not possible, because then you must always create all your forces in one spot. So I really think that the game is missing some options to avoid this super big army stuff. But the game is more or less pushing everyone to create one big stack. I also don't like it really much, but it's the mechanic of the game. Anyway, so this outcome of this battle forced me to suspend every attack for at least 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and then try somewhere again. We will see. This is only a smaller bombardment, only to test how much forces are back here. Nothing really happened here. And this is my, I think, heavy gun bombardment. Yeah, a lot of noise, a lot of time, and at the end, minimum kill, but at least all kills on the Allied side. And this shows me again the problem. This is the same amount of firepower the Jochen have, but here I also cannot attack, and I have double attack value. And then, like I said before, then we are locked. But I don't know if this really makes sense, but anyway, it is like it is. Here's my bombardment here in Clarkfield. What we can see here maybe is that these Filipinos at 71st and 91st Division, they are all they have no attack value left. Only the 41st have some attack value, and they are all low. They're really the most or the strongest unit and the center point of this defense force is maybe really this second Filipino division. Yeah, this was nearly nothing. But I have here 3,500 against 900. And there's normally no fort level left. So normally I would say the next attack must break the enemy. But I must first rest my units a little longer. So this is the attack of Medan, and I hope I can wipe out these Dutch forces. They have normally not a morale, and they are all only military units. So again, keep in mind, this is the attack value, but there's always a quality level behind this. Navy Guard units, I think, have a attack value modification of, I think, 16 or 18. A normal Japanese army unit have, I think, a factor of 22. A Chinese unit have 12 or 13. So one attack value is not automatically always the same. There is always a factor behind this. This is why I roughly would say 1,000 Japanese attack value have the value of maybe 1,500 Chinese attack value. Roughly. 50% bonus. So this is a clear victory. There's nearly nothing. No destroyed, only disabled, and the Dutch forces are broken and running now. And yeah, it takes a base. And now Jochen tried to storm the hill, but this is now an army commander, a full division with some heavy artillery stuff in support. And now the Chinese must come out in the attack. And of course, because they are Chinese, they are completely failing and broken. And you can see that the attack value of my Japanese division are still intact, and here the numbers are going less. So 2,100 against 480. So it is more or less stable. I'll get maybe 10%, and Jochen used 10%. I would say this is still okay. 10% shift up and down, I would always say I can accept. What in Changsha just happened with 50% up and 50% down at the same time is of course game breaking. Jochen tries a shock attack, but he needs, I think, at least 4 to 1, 5 to 1, or, I don't know really. But I have here many disabled units, and I also lose some guns, but I don't know if the guns are really so important now in this case. And Jochen have much more disabled stuff. So, and it will also burn supplies. So, and give higher fatigue. So we will see how this, how long the Japanese can hold here the ground, but maybe 1 week at least, I would say. So the turn was not a totally disaster if I don't had this attack on Changsha. The attack on Changsha was maybe really the biggest disaster so far in the war. Losing one destroyer minesweeper was unluckily against this Dutch sub, but this can happen always. The airstrip of Palmbank was just so, but it was also only a test run for me. And I was able to at least kill many of these British light bombers and Chinese medium bombers. So, let's see. We arrived at the 22nd January 1942. And the air losses are today 18 to 9. Okay, kill ratio exactly 2 to 1. This is what I always hope for, or at least try to keep as long as possible. I losing 7 Oscars, roughly 50-50 operational losses and killed in the air. I can also kill 6 buffaloes, but no hawk. Okay, so the kill ratio is 1 to 1 roughly. It's nothing really great, but it was a test run. I can kill a Catalina and a fortress and losing 2 zeros. Giving 1-0, killing 1 fortress is always in favor of Japan. 1 0 is 1 point, but the fortress is always 4 points. So of course, this I would always do. And the Catalina is 2 points. So much better than last turn, I would say. Yeah, this I can say. And this is a blow for the Chinese Air Force, that's for sure. And out of these 9 pilots, I lost now 1 missing in action, 1 killed in action, and 2 wounded. So nothing too critical, because these are only 4 pilots. And these 4 pilots are normally more or less maybe this 4 Oscar pilots. So this means the zeros are maybe all okay, because the zeros are only ops losses. We can maybe check it quickly. If I go here, Singapore, Oscar wing, this is the air wing. Before I had 14, now I have only 8 airframes left. So 6 airframes are lost. 3 with them off and 3 are lost air to air. And out of this, so this air to air losses 3 are these 3 pilots maybe. You can see 1 killed, 1 missing, and 1 returned but was wounded. This means the 3 written off airframes, all pilots are okay. So only 3 pilots here lost in this air wing, but 6 airframes. And we need to make sure. So I lost I lost 6 airframes, and I killed 6 airframes. So kill ratio 1 to 1. I would say in a purely fighter battle, and I attack, and I have the long range to return because I must use drop tanks, is maybe okay. But nothing I will push forward too much and too often. And this other big battle was here over Kokong, and I'm not more sure which air wing was engaged. This was in this was in Kanchang. But I lost here no pilot. But I lost 1 airframe, I would say. This is maybe the written off airframe. Here are only 14, but it was original 15, and there are still 15 pilots. Okay. Yeah, it's always a little hard to find out which pilot gets killed and where a pilot is lost. The game really not give you always the perfect information. Maybe here is also one airframe lost, because these are only 11, but normally there are 12, but I have still 12 pilots. So maybe one ops losses or air-to-air kill here. Yeah. Anyway, ship sunk. Last turn. One patrol boat. Yeah, Dutch submarine. And here also a Dutch submarine. This ship is of course much, I would say, more useful in the long run. A patrol ship will be always this. There's no upgrade. This ship will be the first day of the war and in the last day of the war. And this destroyer minesweepers, you can at least give later better sub-hunter equipment. But they are still slow, and they are only 800 tons. So this is light destroyers or heavy torpedo boat, something like this. In this case, it's not a torpedo boat, it's a gunboat, but a heavy gunboat, something like this. So, the big outcome of this Battle of Changsha is, of course, the main event, and unluckily it was a failure for me. So from roughly 4,500 I dropped to 2,500, so I lost 2,000 attack value. You can see here the TOE, and these are the infantry and armed forces attacking. And everything up to 88% is okay. Normally up to 80% is still okay, but these forces from 23 to 77, they suffer high losses. You can also see that none of this is really a division gets really killed. These are only partly divisions or garrison units. Like this unit gets completely destroyed, but this is only a garrison unit, so there's nothing left. But if you see, normally there are 216. If I reactivate this stuff, then I'm roughly back at 40-45%. And this is only infantry. So what is true, and this is like same like to China, infantry, no problem for Japan. It's only a question of time. You can reproduce this kind of stuff unlimited. You only need a little time. And time is only the problem. Time is points and victory. Here is also this tank unit is the light tanks are getting all blown up. I had 20 light tanks, and now there are only 7 damage and 1 is okay. The medium tanks are half destroyed. Yeah. So it will need some time to repair all of this stuff. If I go to the big AV stuff, so I feel the heavy divisions. So this you can see the divisions. They are normally the stuff winning the war. So I'm roughly at, let's say, average is maybe 85%. So 15% is destroyed. The other stuff is only damaged, and I must repair it. So you can see normally 324 full squads. So there is something missing, but not too much. Reactivate this stuff and then I'm fine. And because I have here normally the whole command change from overall Kwantung Army, Korean headquarter 4-star general and 2 3-star generals, so I have here a lot of support locally, that normally every of this unit have maximum support. So, and I have also supplies, so I have not only the support, I can also pay for the support. I mean, I have not crazy too much supplies, but every unit asks for something, I can give it. So in the most shortest time I'm able to reactivate my attack value. But I will not repeat, of course. This means if Jochen have here roughly 4,000 to 5,000 attack value, I must have at least 1,000 attack value more before I attack. I must also keep the bombardment of the airfield, because I blow up the fort, so the fort level is now maybe down to a level 2. So there's not more much defense bonus, and this is only a light city, so only a double defense bonus. But I will not more attack if I have less attack value ever more in the future. This is simply a rule. I would say, okay, if I want attack, I must have at least always more attack value than the defender, minimum. Everything else is make no sense. And we will see how this will work out in the future. Good, nothing really big else happened, only pick up here. The good outcome is that the industry of Medan is completely still in good shape. So I took a very important industry city for oil. So this is working well. I pick up normally nearly everything, nothing gets this. Singapore was a success. Medan was a success. Also in China I took many cities with minimum damage. So what else? Malaysia, yeah. I'm now here in position, so next turn I can attack here with the 25th Army and hopefully end this British miserably holding to this base. I won't get rid of them. Once I get rid of them, I can let Thai forces clean up the rest. I don't go in these 2 hexes, I don't need them. This Thai forces can do. Once I am done here with this, I can maybe prepare for the upcoming Battle of Java, because I bring here my invasion fleet and also some carrier and landing fleet here. So I come from 2 directions, and the focus point will be Surabaya and east of Java, because here is all the industry stuff. 90% of all industry is in this part of east of Java, and Surabaya is the only repair shipyard I need and to fix to start my campaign against West Australia. So East Java is normally really important for the industry, and once I take East Java, I can maybe also take Tarakan and Balikpapan, and then I can maybe slowly take West Java, and then also Sumatra. Good. I keep it like this first, and we will see how Jochen will react, because Jochen will normally know that I'm coming. He has detection. So I'm not sure if he try to attack me with surface fleet, submarines, or if he uses bomber formations, because my scouts report 71 bombers. So there's a lot of air force in Java still. Thank you all. See you. Take care. Bye bye.